Let the deluge of public domain bullshit recommence. So, we had a good movie last time, but now we get back to what we're good at, aren't we? Don't we? We go back to the bad movies, the dumb movies, the movies that make me cry. The problem is, when it comes to those movies, I can deal with bad. I can deal with terrible. I can deal with movies that make me laugh until I cry like a little child. The problem comes when I have to deal with a movie that is not just bad, but boring. Bad can be funny. Bad, I can work with. Bad is subjective. It's when your movie is boring that I have a problem. Popeye's Revenge is boring. And that really brings a problem here because at the beginning, I'm hopeful. It opens up with an animatic. Like a really nice one, honestly, explaining the whole backstory of the Popeye of the movie. He's a little kid, born with a body deformity, who's nicknamed Popeye. I forgot his actual name. It's not important, honestly. I think it's Jimmy. So, he's got anger issues. He's picked on by all the kids in school. Beats one of them to death. Parents lock him in a basement to keep him from doing anything else. The parents do not like little Jimmy. And so the logical step would be to get Jimmy into a halfway house or a home or mental health. They go all Nightmare on Elm Street on little Jimmy and burn his house down with his whole family in it. We then cut 20 years later, and a bunch of kids are now going to the rebuilt home of Lil Popeye Jimmy. But it turns out there is a dark secret behind the house that involves the families of the people who burned the damn house down. I'll actually get to all the way to that right now. Turns out that little Jimmy's been haunting the nightmares of the parents of Not Elm Street. They all decided they had to build a house now, and no one could live there. Essentially, they all had to own it from now on. The person who owned it is now dead. And then someone else would get the property. And that was the main character's mom. No, I don't know the main character's name. I will be honest with you all. I've already forgotten all the characters' names. There's an olive oil character in the movie who was actually Popeye's sister, which is all kinds of wrong, the way she acts. She's actually our weird, creepy, insane loony character for the movie, which is all types of fun. Popeye is just Jason Voorhees. He's just Jason Voorhees in this movie. Essentially, he is Friday Part 2 / Friday the 13th, 2009 Jason Voorhees. He walks around the forest, accompanied by the real star of this movie, a fucking smog machine. And he just kills teenagers. That's it. He kills a fisherman earlier in the movie. And then he kills 3 true crime podcasters. And that's it. That is the whole movie, honestly. This movie does not really have much going for it. And that's fine. You know, people have made worse movies with less. And made better movies with even less than nothing. The problem becomes execution. You see, when I say this movie is boring, I don't just mean it's boring as in, you know, it's long. It's boring as in it's kind of unintelligibly bad. Nothing really happens with the kills. And you'd think that would be a thing with Popeye. Popeye, the sailor man, the strong sailor man. No, like, he beats people up and he kills people with an anchor. That's it. He did like an eye impalement with a piece of wood. he put his fist through a woman's chest once. Wasn't even that good of a chest impalement, honestly. Like, his hand was just covered in blood. What else? He ran over a woman with a tractor, a combine harvester, honestly, I think it was. But, even then, nothing really was shown. It was all blood. That's honestly what this movie's more about. It's all blood. Not even really well done blood half the time. Because, okay, I'm gonna need a visual element here. Give me a second. Okay, so I got Emolga here. We're gonna use Emolga here for the one of the victims. Okay, so imagine Emolga is in a hot tub. Okay, so Emolga, I'm behind Emolga. I'm Popeye, even though I don't look anything like it. So Emolga is in the hot tub. I get behind Emolga. I have I need another here we go, hairbrush that I use to make my hair look nice. So this is the anchor, and so I do this. I'm trying to kill Emolga, and I am doing this, like, this takes like at least a minute or so, and then finally the blood comes, but instead of spewing out here through a squib or anything like that, it's spewing forward. It is spewing forward towards me instead. It hits me, Popeye, it hits the victim, who's also in the hot tub, somehow, and finally I just give up and I just start drowning her, and even then that takes a minute. That's what I mean by incompetent. The movie doesn't really seem to give a damn, and I'm noticing a trend with that. Like, Mouse of Horrors, The Mousetrap, this movie, all three of these films were not made in the United States, even though that's where the copyright ended. Like, I don't know how public domain works in other countries, but still, this was a bad film, and I've only talked about one death. And these deaths are just unfucking believable. Like, a stoner was masturbating on a pier, and he gets his dick impaled with the anchor I mentioned earlier. He's holding the anchor in place. Like, he's holding the anchor in place on his dick. And we're just, like, they couldn't even afford to just make a second anchor prop to make it look like it's holding him into the pier. Like, they couldn't cut the anchor off and it's like, it's all in there. No, we can't do that. We can't afford that. And then Popeye just, rips out his spine, and it's actually pretty clean spine there. Almost like they bought, like, a cheap Halloween decoration and painted it with a little red. Not even blood, just a little red. I think I actually missed a death somewhere. Like, one of the blonde chick. I think there was, like, a few blonde chicks. I think I missed one of their deaths, actually, earlier on in the movie, like, later on in the movie, near the end. Like, I just didn't care. That's how bad this movie is. Like, by the end of the film, like, it's hitting, like, so many notes from, like, other films. Popeye dies the same way that Jason Voorhees did in the 2009 Friday the 13th. They even do the same damn sequel tease style than they did in the 2009 Friday the 13th, where Popeye just jumps out of nowhere and I am so exhausted. I'm sorry. Where he jumps out of nowhere and grabs the girl and just ends on a sequel tease that I hope to God never happens. Like, who the fuck cares about a Popeye in fucking jolly old England? This was a painful one, and you know what's worse? I'm gonna have to do others. Like, there's still Popeye the Slayer Man. There's that Winnie the Pooh versus Mickey movie coming in a month or two. There's Screamboat, which I'm probably gonna have to wait for digital distribution, because I ain't seeing that shit. I'm not paying $17 to see that shit in theaters. Dear Lord, I think there's another Mickey Mouse horror film I have to see too. I think I missed one. There's fucking Bambi in 2 months. Oh. I don't even want to do the like and subscribe thing. I don't. Just be good people to everyone. Okay? I'm calling it a night. I'll see you guys on stream. Remember, we stream Sundays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays at 8:30 p.m. Have a nice day. If you can't have a nice day, make make an asshole's day worse. Bye.
Popeye, he's back.